Hey everyone, in today's YouTube video, I wanted to show you exactly how to rank a video #1 on YouTube. And I have a few hundred videos on this channel, for example, that rank #1. Some are for things that are not very competitive. That's how I got started. But now I could rank for very competitive terms. And I'm gonna do a case study showing you one of those competitive terms and exactly how I rank #1 for that and how I do so for upcoming videos. And I'm gonna show you a 7-step process. So I'm just gonna walk you through in linear order of the 7 steps that I follow. In all, I follow 21 different steps. So I made a full guide where I describe each step in much more detail. So as soon as that's done, I'll link that in the description. But in this video, I wanna talk about the 7 steps that you do in the beginning. And at the end of the video, I wanna show you one of my videos that didn't rank at all and why it didn't rank. So I wanna show you some of the things that a lot of people are doing wrong after I show you some of the things that you need to be doing right. So the 7 steps. So let's jump in the computer. Again, I'm gonna pull up a video that ranks #1 right now. That's for a very competitive term. And then I'll show you step by step how I got there. Okay, so I'm on my channel here and I'm gonna show you the 7 steps with an actual video for me that ranks #1. So I need to go to File and go to Incognito window. I'm using Google Chrome, but that's how you really find out your ranking, because otherwise it's gonna show you rankings based on what you've been doing on YouTube. So I'm gonna go to YouTube on an incognito window and I'm gonna look up how to use Slack. That's the one we're gonna focus on. And as you could see here, this is my video ranking #1, even outranking Slack, the company itself. And if you don't know, Slack is a big chat app for businesses that millions of people are using to communicate with team members inside of their business. So let's talk about the 7 different steps I did to get this to rank #1. Well, I actually did 21 different things, and I have a checklist of 21 different things I do every time I upload a video, after I upload a video, and then usually within a week I come back and some of the steps require you to look at some of the analytics and how your video is doing and improving. So again, I'll link to that in the description below so you could follow basically the same steps that I follow. So let me go ahead and exit out of here and go back to my channel here, and let me show you behind the scenes of my YouTube studio. So let me go to YouTube Studio here and click over this video tab here so you could be under your videos, and I'm gonna look up Slack again. And I'm gonna find that video, this one, how to use Slack. Let me click it. And let's go through the 7 steps that I talk about in this video one at a time. The very first one is having an effective search-based title. Now, what does that mean? So I didn't come up with this title, how to use Slack, just from making a guess or randomly writing how to use Slack because that's what my video is about. I actually did a lot of research, and I do it for every single video to see, hey, is this title gonna rank? Now, let me show you exactly how I do title research. Let me go ahead and copy this. I use a plugin called TubeBuddy. It's a Chrome plugin and a YouTube plugin, and there's a free version you could get started with, and I use the paid option, and I'll compare the two when I show you some of this. And I'll put a link below in the description so you could get a copy of TubeBuddy for yourself as well. But if you go on the side here, there's something called Keyword Explorer. Let me click it. And I could just type in my keyboard how to use Slack, and you could get some recommendations as well, but I'm gonna press Explore. And right here, the overall score, it shows you what your chances are for ranking in this video. Now, how did I rank #1 and have such a poor ranking? Well, because I ranked #1 for this while back when my channel was more focused on business tools like this one, and I've really pushed it more towards social media and apps and technology related very much to social media like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So this is gonna have a poor chance even right now to rank, but at the time when I recorded it, it actually had a much higher number. That's why I chose to go with it. And you could choose between weighted and unweighted, and that's just based on personal preference, based on your specific channel. So you could read more about what that means. And again, using TubeBuddy, you could go ahead and find this out. So after I do this, I kind of look over here too. Maybe this one's not ranking well, but what about how to use Slack for business? Would that rank well? So let me go ahead and click that and see what my score is for that. Well, much better now. So maybe I change my title to this, especially if I'm just starting out. Some of these might be more relevant for you. So don't just use the first title that you come across with if this number is really low. And let's look at the breakdown. We want to look at search volume. In this case, it's pretty poor, so I wouldn't make this video. But if it was just how to use Slack and I explore that, the search volume was much higher. So look at that in the yellow range. So I usually go for things that are higher. Obviously in the dark green, you have to have a pretty significant channel here, talking about a lot of things related to Slack for it to rank there. And then you could see competition and optimization strength and learn more about them here. But basically this number is what you really need to pay attention to. If it's really low, look at some of the alternatives and see if you could rank there instead. And that's how I do my title research. Step number 2 has to do with tags or keywords. So look at this section in uploading a video, and here's all the different tags that I have. And you could see the ranking based on incognito mode again. And you could see how to use Slack is number 1, Slack tutorial is number 1, this one is number 2. And you could see all the rankings for all the keywords I choose. Again, how do I choose all these keywords that help me rank? Well, again, I use TubeBuddy, and every time I upload, again, I use Keyword Explorer. I type in how to use Slack in this case. I press Explore, and then I just look on the side here and I just check these that are related to it, and I press Insert, and it just inserts them all here. And I could have up to 500 different characters in this section of my tags, and I almost always go over 400 and make sure they're all there. So using the right tags that are more descriptive based on what people are searching for is huge. If you look at other people's tags, they're really not using this section correctly, and TubeBuddy just makes it really easy. Otherwise, the manual process of doing it is super hard. And look at this. All these tag recommendations that are here, I just click plus, 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 plus. It just adds them. I don't have to really do even the next step of Keyword Explorer here. In the free version, you're only going to get a few of these. So if you're just starting out, that might be fine. But I was serious about growing on YouTube since the beginning. So the paid version gives me all these different options so I don't have to think. And it gives me a lot more options too that I'll talk about as we go through here. Number 3 has to do with optimizing our description. And a lot of people are guilty of not doing this, including myself. In fact, in this case, it looks like I didn't really do what I teach, which is coming over here on the second step where we find out all the tags, using these same tags in plain English and incorporating them in this copy, in this text here. So not just stuffing those keywords here and putting them like how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, but writing in plain English. Slack is a communication tool, and then see what are these tags for business, and using Slack video, Slack chat, incorporating those words, or project management, words like that within my text here. So it's really important you write very clean description, and your first couple of sentences are a big deal because they do show up in search. So you want to make these also very engaging. Number 4 is more like a do not do than a do, but I really wanted to include it here because almost everybody does this and it's a big mistake. I'm making it right here actually, and I'll explain why I'm doing that. But you see this URL here, Howfinity.com. I'm sending people to my website to learn more about social media and watch more of my how-to videos. But in the very beginning of launching your YouTube channel, doing this is horrible because YouTube doesn't want people to leave YouTube to go to your website or any other place. So having follow me on Instagram and follow me on TikTok, all those things are really bad in the description, at least for the beginning. Now I'm trying to get people to go to Howfinity.com, learn more about social media, make a channel there. But in the very beginning, I didn't do this because I didn't want people to leave YouTube. I just wanted them to subscribe. So this was the last thing I would have in every video. Later, I included this to see more how-to videos on my platform. But in the beginning, it was all about sharing the YouTube and subscribing. No other links, no external links, no follow me on Facebook, nothing like that. Even the Slack.com would be a bad link here. So try to keep people on YouTube watching your videos as much as possible without getting them to leave YouTube. Ending a session on YouTube because of you, because you're putting a link in there or in the comment section, is bad. At least in the beginning when you're just trying to grow on YouTube. Once it becomes more of a business, this is kind of essential because you're trying to monetize YouTube using external links. Number 5 has to do with your thumbnails here. And your thumbnails are one of the top 3 things that people see when they look at your video in the search results. So they see your title, they see a couple of sentences of your description, and they see this. So again, let's go to YouTube and look this up. So right here, how to use Slack on YouTube, and look at why this is ranking number 1. Is the thumbnail highly clickable? So first I use my eyes, I use my judgment and see, hey, compared to what's over here, did I make a thumbnail that's highly clickable? And I created a full Photoshop training video on this channel that walks you through making highly clickable thumbnails like this. But if I go over here, I need to really find out, hey, are people clicking on this or not? how do I do that? I go under the analytics tab, I click over on reach here, and then I come over here and I look at this number right here, click-through rate. That's how you could tell that your thumbnail and title are effective. Now, this is not just about your thumbnail, but I do judge my thumbnail a lot based on this number, because that means, hey, when people look this up, how many people clicked here compared to here and here? And it looks like 10% clicked here. It may seem low, but that's pretty good. A 10% click-through rate is kind of high. You want somewhere between 2 and 10%. Lower than 2%, you're in trouble. Higher than 10%, you're doing great, and you're most likely gonna rank on top of YouTube. Let's go to the video and let's do number 6, which is leaving a comment and pinning your own comment. So let me go down here and let me show you what I mean. So as soon as I publish a video, I come over there and I leave a comment. I basically type out a comment over here, and then I press these 3 dots and I pin it to the top so it shows up number 1. Now, depending on if you want to rank this number 1 or if you want to get more subscribers, there's 2 things you could do. I'm trying to get more thumbs up and subscribers, so that's what I ask for. But if you're trying to rank this number 1, especially in the first 24 hours or so, you should say, hey, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and let me know what you learned. That way you engage people to get comments. I did not do that, and I got very few comments compared to the number of views this video has. So you don't really want to do that. If you want to get comments, you want to ask for comments even inside of your video content. Ask at the end for people to leave a comment. In the first 24 hours, it's really important to get as many comments as possible, and that will help your ranking on your YouTube video too. And finally, number 7, I'm basically gonna put 3 or 4 different things inside of number 7. If you come to analytics after you post your video, give it a few days and come to analytics. And I judge this all the time on all my videos. And this is not doing very well over time. I basically want to see this to kind of grow over time. But let me show you the 3 essential things to look for. Number 1, and this is why YouTube kind of puts this front and center, is audience retention or watch time. What does that mean? Well, when someone clicks on this video, how much of the video are they watching? Well, let's look here. They're watching 37% of it. So is that good or bad? Well, in this case, this ranks number 1, so that's pretty good based on the competition. But if this was 50% for everybody else on that page, it wouldn't rank very well because they're doing better than me. So on a 10-minute video, to have people to stay for 4 minutes is actually pretty decent, even though it sounds like it's pretty bad. But YouTube has a big drop-off. So if you get this over 50%, you're doing fantastic. If this is under 30%, you're probably not going to rank. So I'm just in the sweet spot here. And you could see in the beginning, let's see, from the very first second to the 12th second mark, I lost 20. And that's, again, not that abnormal. That's pretty normal. So you could make changes to your video based on this. So always study this and go to the halfway mark, around the 5-minute mark, and see if about 50% are still here or not. This has a lot to do with how you create your videos. So this is going to change. The better videos you make, the better this just gets over time. But it is considered to be the number 1 factor for ranking videos. The second thing I look at is something that pretty much no YouTuber talks about, but it's like versus dislikes. And this is the number that I care about per video. So how do you Slack has 92% thumbs up versus thumbs down. Now that's pretty good. I try as hard as I can to be in the A range between 90 and 100%, and that seems to really help my ranking, especially when the video takes off and gets over 10,000 views. Now, channel average, over 600 videos and 90% is my channel average, meaning almost all my videos have in the A range, and a couple of them are in the B and the C range that I try to improve those all the time. I make a new version, but I really care about these numbers, and this basically shows you the quality of the video. Is your audience happy with the quality of the video? This is a good metric to look at here. And finally, the thing I already talked about, but if you go under reach and look at click-through rate, this has to do, again, with your thumbnail and your title and the combination of the two and how likely is someone to click them. So you want to always be improving these by making your titles better, more title research, more highly effective thumbnails, and that will help you over time. And finally, let me show you where I made every single mistake here. So let me look up Apple Watch and show you what I mean here. So this video, how to set up an Apple Watch 4, and let me show you everything I did wrong here with this video. First of all, this is not what my channel has the authority on. Apple Watch, iPhones, and as much as I try to make Apple related videos, it's very competitive. So coming out of the gate, even though I've been doing this for years, is still very hard. So that was the big downfall here. I did do all the other things that I talked about in this video, but let me come to my analytics to see what went wrong. Well, here's what went wrong. As you could see, this actually netted me -2 subscribers. So I actually lost subscriber by making this video. But I put so much effort in this video, but when I came to the audience retention time, I could see that from the beginning of the video to the 10-second mark, I lost 40% of the people. And my ultimate retention rate was less than 30%. As I mentioned, that could be really bad here. Even though my like versus dislike is at 100%, that doesn't mean all that much with only 280 views. So then I was wondering why my drop rate was so high. So by pressing play on the video, we spend a lot of time actually filming this very cinematically, a lot like an Apple commercial here. But what I notice is the first 20 seconds or so, you don't even see my face. So you basically see these cinematic shots of the watch and it looks a lot like a commercial and I don't even talk. So we're at the 20-second mark and nothing's happening. So when I go back to my audience retention here, I know that's the problem. Even though I thought this is super great, and I was kind of thinking everybody would love to see this commercial looking video on a YouTube channel, it did not do that. So I stopped doing that right away. And then I went to my reach to see, hey, is this thumbnail good? Is the title good? And let's look at this number. No, 0.7, well under 2%. Obviously, it's not gonna work if you get under 2% here and your retention time is so bad. So between those mistakes, this video did not rank. And obviously, even though sometimes you could do your best to rank for the videos, it's not going to happen every single time. But this 21-step process is the most proven method for videos to rank. And that's how I ranked hundreds of videos on this channel. Now, I hope you could utilize some of these steps. And if this is your first time researching this, I know that could be a lot. But I'm going to link in the description to that 21-step process that's going to really break it down a little bit more. So that free resource is going to be available to you. So go ahead and download it and kind of go through it every time you upload and create a video, because over time they will start working and they will start ranking. So just make sure you kind of go through the process every time and not just do one step here and one step there. They all work in combination for the best possible results. So I hope you found this video useful. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for easy to follow YouTube, Instagram, and other social media videos, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.